3D printing is amazing because it allows you to bring anything from your imagination to life, especially if you can do a little bit of VR sculpting. This was printed on my filament printer over there. Now the advantage of filament printers is you can print pretty large like this, but like I mentioned, there are limitations. There are flaws. I won't tolerate that. I have been eyeing off getting a resin 3D printer for some time. Filament uses the plastic and sort of like a hot glue gun injects a layer at a time to create a 3D print. A resin printer is a little bit different. It uses resin and is cured through a UV light and layer by layer, sort of similar to how this works, but at a much higher resolution, much more detail. So I've held off. I've thought, oh, I've got a 3D printer, I can do cool stuff, and I've done cool stuff with it. But especially ever since I've gotten into miniature painting, I couldn't resist. So I bought myself kind of one of the coolest resin 3D printers. So this is one of my favorite 3D printed projects. I re-sculpted a Warhammer Space Marine in Oculus Medium. I'll link to that video in the card and in the description. I loved how the result turned out. Even though I went with a high resolution, there are still lines from the texture of the print. So I'm gonna be interested to see not only how big I can print at a high resolution on my resin printer, but how small I can print and retain all the details. I want to print a whole bunch of cool different stuff and show you what it looks like, and you're waiting for me to open the thing and do that stuff. So let's do that. Let's start with the main event.
Do you want a head?
Yeah, maybe. Lift with your legs. Grab the thing, push it away. Hey, oh my god. So build tray goes in here. And you know what, I'm gonna read the instructions. Yeah, no, I don't get it. Setup, there's a setup. Tap next to begin tank installation. That would be this. Do you want to know why I didn't understand what this was explaining? That's what I was looking at. See the problem?
Genius.
That's just how long it takes me. I open the instruction manual and I'm like, I don't understand. My brain just has some serious limitations. Next we'll begin cartridge installation. Let's go grey. I'm sure it'll be great. Ha! Thank you. Right, so this, I think, goes in here. I think it's ready to print.
Yay.
So I bought a friend.
You paid.
I have to pay people to be my friends and employees. I'm lonely. Let's get started. Oh, by the way, this channel is called Jazza, so you're gonna have to be a Jazza for it to be on brand.
Nah.
So I want to reprint my Space Marine at the scale of an actual Space Marine to sort of have a direct comparison. Fastest print. I think we start off fastest. Let's smack out a few quickies. I've got a little Hero Forge character. It's a website where you can design your own, design your own 3D tabletop figure. So let's do a quick print of a Hero Forge character.
Did you name it Constant Hyena? Its name is Constant Hyena.
No.
Oh.
Did you?
No.
Did it name itself? Is it sentient? Constant Hyena.
Humanity is at an end. Resistance is futile.
No, it doesn't work. I just dragged it in. Look at him! Whee!
Brings
Start
up,
a print. What's his name? It looks a bit like he's got a beard. This is Jeremy.
Give me your best barbarian face.
Upload job. Look, there it is. Should I just hit print? If it goes wrong, I'm blaming you. Oh. Print. Oh, it's pooping resin.
Yeah.
How long is this gonna take? Look, while it's doing that, let's unbox these. This is a washing station. You can just manually wash it. You can just immerse it in isopropyl alcohol. But this thing does like an automatic vibration wash thing, which is really cool. This is another optional extra. This is a curing station that does like an automatic, really even UV curing of the washed model.
Kind of looks like a deep fryer in a microwave.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes me happy too. This is deciding it's nearly ready, I think. Ah! Oh, it's ready! It's gonna do stuff. Oh my god. I've been really looking forward to this. Yeah. Do something! Whoa! It sploogers down. All right, so here's the plan. We're gonna print one print on each of these settings. The first one is 160. This is Jeremy the Barbarian. This is 160 layer thickness. 2 is gonna be a size one. So the 2 is gonna be the dragon. We wanna fill up the entire build tray space, make it as big as possible. By printing at 100, it won't take as long as if we did it at 50. And I want the Space Marine to be better detail. And then the last one, I want to set up the print to have a bunch.
Yeah.
So the default size, but then half the size nearly every time until the last few. I want to like print, I want to try and print like ridiculously small. So, but this one is going to be printed at 25 microns. But I think this will be a really good like first bash of like quick and dirty print, massive print at a reasonable detail, small print at a high detail, and how small and high detail can you print? Ah, we got a plan. Let's do it. So this is our first miniature. Now, obviously, the first attempt failed. Somewhere at the top there, it just sort of stopped building it. With the all automatic option, it printed pretty nicely. So let's pull him off the supports and see what he looks like. Now, remember, this is the lowest resolution. This is the 160 microns. There's a bit of cleanup needed behind here because the supports do leave these little rivets. The shield is where you can see the layer lines are the clearest. So the top here, there you go. So that is what the layer lines look like. But again, this print really didn't take long at all. And that's pretty passable. Now, I've already had a couple of friends in like my real life, which I have, by the way, ask me what these models are from. Now, like I mentioned, the first one was from Hero Forge, and the third one, the Space Marine, was the one I sculpted. But the Dragon and the Druid, which I'm doing fourth, are both from Danny's Kickstarter. Now, Danny owns a channel called 3D Printed Tabletop, and the Kickstarter is called Lost Adventures Volume 2. And the models are, as you can see, astounding. And larger models like the Dragon here come in one piece, but also in individual parts, so that if you want to print more efficiently than I am in this example, you can print in multiple parts. And I'll be doing that later in this video so you can sort of see how that goes. But if you don't have a 3D printer, you can also back the Kickstarter and just get the models sent to you. So go check it out. It's a really cool Kickstarter, really cool models, and a really cool guy. I'll link to that in the description. They've actually thrashed their funding goal because they're really cool models. So go check it out before it's too late. This is what the Dragon looks like when it's printed in one piece at the biggest scale possible. Now, the larger models from the Kickstarter do come in parts, so if I actually wanted to print this Dragon properly and at a larger scale, I would print the individual parts. So that may be something I want to do later, but I just want to have a look to see how big it can be, how detailed it is, printing all in one piece. This is what the test was, and I think as far as the test goes, that's pretty successful. I mean, that is a hefty size print for all having come out in one piece. Here he is, and he's very, very cool looking. I love the wings. I mean, I love all of it. It's perfect scale. Huge success. Really, really cool. All right, moving on to our Space Marine. Now, for those of you who weren't familiar, this is the 40K Space Marine that I sculpted in VR in Oculus Medium and 3D printed with my filament printer at a large scale. Well, now I've 3D printed him with my resin printer. Is it about the same scale? I mean, I think so. That's roughly the same scale. Now, let's look at layer lines. This one was printed at 50 microns. So not the finest detail, but pretty damn close. And as you can see, I mean, yeah, wow. I don't really see any layer lines. As a print goes, I mean, look at that. That's cool. Even before any real cleanup, I mean, this is just spectacular. And this isn't even the highest detail setting. Ooh, 25 microns, you ready? I'm ready. Look at this. Look, there's still one more. There's still one more. Ready? Let's pull these things apart. That is astounding. By the way, let me just apologize for the fact that I bite my fingers and you guys have to have the closest view possible, but look at that detail. Oh my God, that is satisfying. Moving on. So this is about a third smaller and there is no loss of usability here. Like, yeah, he's much smaller, so small you know, I don't know what you'd use him for. Again, a little bit of support cleanup needed, and there's no layer lines. They do not exist on this print. All right, let me show you this one off. This is a third smaller still. I'm still not noticing a loss of detail, and just look at that. You can still see the fingers. Wow. So this is the full size print next to the current size print. So he's about less than half the size. Oh my God. This is the size of my print. So now let's get in and look at the detail. It's still all there. Can you see his fingers? You can see his fingers. That's my finger. There, his fingers. On there. There are 3 more. This is getting insane. It's really getting quite frail. It's still all there, even the necklace, even the fingers. I wonder if you could paint a mini at this scale. Maybe that's another video. Let me know in the comments. What the hell? There's 2 more. This is impossible now. I don't know which to pull off and which to keep as his stuff. Oh no, I think that's it. Okay. Let's put him on the pen lid, shall we? Do you know what? The basic form is still there. Obviously the staff is broken off, but the arms, the basic silhouette, and some of the details. I think we can expect the detail to start to dissipate at this time. There's one more. There he is. Look at this. This is my last print. Yeah, I can't even see where his staff is to not take it off as a support. Let's just see what this looks like. Again, lid of the pen for context. We're going all the way in. Oh, the staff is there. It's so hard to see. Oh, have I broken his staff off? I think, oh, there it goes. Yeah, no, okay. This is where we've really got nothing. There you go. The fact that we have all of these levels of detail and so much is visible at every stage is mind-boggling to me. Now we've seen how big we can print in one print and also how small we can print. Obviously, I'd like to put the 2 together. In fact, the dragon is not really ideally going to be printed in one piece. It comes in all of the individual parts. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to reprint the dragon one last time, but this time all the individual body parts at full scale, and I'm going to pick my most detailed, usable, small mini from this lineup. And then we can put them next to each other and show the epic scale possibilities with my new 3D resin printer that we've been mucking around with today. All right, so this is technically how you're supposed to 3D print a bunch of this stuff. In parts and a little more efficiently. Actually, even thinking back to when I printed the first dragon in one piece, I had him sort of probably the worst way around possible, because all of the supports were connecting to all the details that you want to sort of preserve. So I took my precious time making sure that all the best details, all the most prettiest things were not going to be heavily intruded on by the support structures, and also to optimize the space to fit as much in the build platform as possible. I reduced the size of everything by about 10%, but otherwise got to be able to print the whole dragon in just 2 prints. And I also have discovered how much the filament lasts, because I ran out by the time I needed to print the wings. And I know everyone who has a resin printer is shouting at me to hollow out the resin models. You're not the boss of me. I'm a kinesthetic learner, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Point is, with the parts of my dragon printed, I was ready to separate them from the supports. Now, I haven't done extensive cleanup, and obviously when you glue these things together, you want to make sure that the joints are as clean and flush as possible so there aren't big gaps, which I didn't do. So there are reasonably big gaps, and you can fill these in, of course, with various putties or milliput or green stuff or whatever. And I didn't do that either. I just was doing this for a test of resolution and scale, and that is what this is, and I'm very excited by both. As far as resolution and scale goes, yeah, I gotta say, I'm stoked. I can do big models and miniatures, and I can do, I mean, yeah, you saw. Detail is not a difficulty. Okay, I need to wrap up what obviously this video is about, which is the 3D printing. How small can I print? How big can I print? And you've seen that. But I'm going to end this video in a way I wasn't anticipating, and that is sharing some huge news. I am bringing back Tabletop Time. For those of you who don't know, Tabletop Time is a channel I have had on hiatus for almost 5 years. Now, if you go over to Tabletop Time, which I'd encourage you to do so, and please subscribe, you'll notice it was pretty much solely tabletop role-playing games, specifically the system my brother Shad from Shadiversity and I created called Cogent Roleplay. I'm bringing back Tabletop Time, and it's still going to be that. Lots of roleplay with people you already know and love, and lots of new friends along the way. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, there will definitely be miniature content and 3D printing on occasion. I have so many projects that I've been working on in my spare time that I am just in love with and really enjoying. So this, for example, is a little sort of, I'll call it a diorama model, because I'm going to build a scene, like a road that they're like riding on, and do a whole bunch of props and stuff to it. But I've almost finished the paint job. I've still got to weather it. I want to use like enamels and weathering pencils to do it. I'm really enjoying like all the different mediums and things I can use to create really cool details. Really falling in love with miniature painting again. Obviously, it's no secret at this point. And also the effects and the ways you can create lighting effects. Now, this was my first attempt at what's called object source lighting. Imagine him standing in front of a campfire, so the light in front of him is the warm glow of the fire, and behind is the night sky behind him. This is my first attempt at it, and obviously I have to come back to this miniature. They're the sort of challenges I want to give myself that, frankly, here on Jazza, it's not like the most clickbaity, sexy content. It's like, it's nerdy, geeky, arty stuff, and I really want to do more of it. And then this is one of the projects I'm most excited about. I'm creating a custom Space Marines chapter called the Space Bears, a successor chapter to the Space Wolves, which involves a lot of custom sculpting and using custom like bits and conversion parts to create a really unique and really aesthetically cool custom chapter. And I've got cool lore that I'm working on. I've just like, I need to geek out, guys, and I need to let it out somewhere, and this isn't the place. But if you're excited about my excitement, and if you think some of this stuff seems really fun, it is, go subscribe to Tabletop Time. And to bring this full circle, the first painting project I'm going to do on Tabletop Time is painting my Warhammer Space Marine miniature. And these are going to be projects I'll do a lot in my spare time. So sometimes there'll be footage, sometimes there'll be photos. But the point is, I'm really excited about doing art stuff for me. So I hope you come along for the ride and enjoy a little bit of that with me. I mean, 3D printing has always been really fun and interesting to me. And I have to say the resin printing is just, I mean, yeah, this is another one of those things that's tipped me over the edge, because it's just so cool and I want to do so much with it in the course of time. Course. So how big can I print in one print? Well, I think this is probably the best representation of that. And as far as how small I can print with it being reasonably usable and visible, I think this is about it. And I think that scale seems about right. Oh, he could be a dragon rider. Oh my God, that's perfect. Here he is, a little dragon rider. The tiniest print I could make that makes visual sense, and the biggest print I could make with the printer I have. This has been a fun experiment. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So it would mean a great deal to me if you subscribed to Tabletop Time and signed up for a little bit of that fun moving forward. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Huge thank you, of course, to Danny. Shout out to his Kickstarter. Lost Adventures Volume 2. Really cool models here. Thanks, Danny. Congratulations on the massive Kickstarter success, by the way. That is it for now, but obviously there is a lot to come. So until next time, I'll see you later.